Certainly want to thank everyone for tuning in on this morning. Once again, I'm Michael Flowers, pastor teacher, True Vine Baptist Church, located in the great city of Little Rock, Arkansas. Once again, would you like, share, comment, start your watch party? We're about to prepare ourselves for the Word. Let us bow and pray. Heavenly Father, we come as humble as we know how, ready and anxiously awaiting your word. Your word that will lift us up. Your word that will turn us around and give us a firm place to stand. Now, Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Today's message is number 4 of our sermon series, Conquering Corona. And we'll be looking in the Old Testament, the 3rd number of Psalm. So if you have your Bibles handy with you, as you sit comfy at your house, just grab that word and turn to Psalm 3, and we will read it in its entirety. Psalm 3, verses 1 through 8, and I'll be reading out of the New King James rendering. This is David speaking. Verse 1 says, Lord, how they have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me. Many are they who say of me, there is no hope for him in God. Verse 3, but you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory and the one who lifts up my head. I cried to the Lord with my voice, and he heard me from his holy hill. Verse 5, I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God, for you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing is upon your people. I want you to take note of Psalm 3 and 5 that reads, I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I want to use as a subject, I dream of COVID. I dream of COVID. Hashtag, thank God for a safe night. I dream of COVID. Hashtag, thank God for a safe night. Did you know the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has huge economic, health, and social impacts, all of which can influence the way we sleep? Did you know there are many health benefits when it comes to getting your 8 hours of sleep? In the best of times, sleep reduces inflammation, stress, and the risk of depression. Sleep improves cognitive functions and helps the body repair itself and ward off illness. It has been said by health officials that amid COVID-19, a good night's sleep has never been more important. The question now becomes, why can't you sleep during the quarantine? Why has your sleep pattern been disrupted during the quarantine? You can't sleep because your dreams have been infected by this pandemic. During this pandemic, your sleep has brought you no relief. In the article titled, Infecting Our Dreams, Pandemic Sabotages Sleep Worldwide by the Associated Press, it states, and I quote, the horrors of COVID-19 and the surreal and frightening ways it has upended daily life are infecting dreams and exposing feelings of fear, loss, isolation, and grief that transcend culture, language, and national boundaries. Cyber sanctuary, people from the Americas to Africa to Asia to Europe are waking up in a sweat in the dead of the night. This term, my brothers and sisters, is called collective dreaming. This term, watch this, is called collective dreaming. Cyber sanctuary, the psychological toll is staggering because people like healthcare workers dream show similarities to those of combat veterans and 9/11 responders. And as a result of this, so many people are sharing accounts of dreams online that there's a Twitter account dedicated to gathering them in a virtual library under the handle, I Dream of COVID. It's my prayer after listening to this message. I want the children of God, I want the army of the Lord to make a hashtag go viral. And that hashtag that I'm praying that you will make go viral is, I thank God for a safe night. I'm going to say that one more time. The hashtag that I want you to go viral is, I thank God for a safe night. Well, I want you to just go ahead and just put that in the atmosphere of every social media platform that you're on. I thank God for a safe night. I also want you to know, I also want the army of God to know, God helps his troubled people. Cyber sanctuary dealing with COVID-19, watch this, has put us in a distressing situation. At the time of our text, you see it in the text, David is in a distressing situation. He's in a distressing situation as well. And at the time of our text, we find David escaping from his son Absalom, who had snatched the crown from David's head and is taking over the throne. Which leads me to the first point of the message. We have inner turmoil, forcing us to admit our troubles. David is in a conflict because his enemies are increasing. Let me say it like this. David sees trouble. Notice how he begins Psalm 3. He begins it abruptly with the word Lord. And sometimes you don't have enough time to be fancy and you don't have enough time to be formal and proper. When your life and future is on the line, when your life and your future is at stake, you have to cry out, Lord, have mercy on me. You have to cry out to the Lord, believing by faith that he is a very present help in the time of trouble. David cries out, watch this, he cries out to the Lord for perspective. Don't miss this cyber sanctuary. He cries out to the Lord for perspective. And I hereby decree and declare, you will not go crazy in Corona. It's important, my brothers and sisters, it's important that we have the right perspective on life. And did you know our outlook predetermines how much we let external factors influence us? That's why having a good perspective is so important. Notice in your Bible, Lord, L-O-R-D, Lord is in small caps. In real time, David is calling God, watch this, by a special name. Really, that word Lord is transliterated as Yehovah. Yehovah. So look at verse 1. Lord, Yehovah in the transliterated version. Lord, how they have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me. When you're in a distressed situation, And when your enemies are increasing, pray to the Lord. You better have a prayer life. Pray to the Lord, whom you have a personal relationship with, for help. Cyber Sanctuary, let's admit to the Lord that we need his help. We need his help because, let me tell you why we need his help. We need his help because things are falling apart. We need his help because of the extent of the situation. Notice the extent of the situation surprises and grieves David. And I stand before you like David, still surprised and grieved over the extent of COVID-19. The state of Arkansas is supposed to be on a downward slide. The state of Arkansas is supposed to be at this time on a downward spiral as it relates to people contacting and contracting COVID-19. But the last time I checked, the number of cases is increasing. Now, government officials are faced with the moral dilemma of opening up the state, knowing it's going to put people at risk. We're caught, my brothers and sisters, we're caught red-handed, we're caught in between stay at home and go back to work. Do we continue to stay at home and make no money? Or do we go back to work and risk our lives to make more money? Let's step back into the text. David is in conflict because his enemies are increasing. And in addition to that, David is in conflict because the news is getting worse. You don't believe me? Look at verse 2. He said, many are they who say of me, there is no help for him in God. David's enemies, who are increasing in number, are going around saying God will not help David. God will not save David. That's what they're going around and saying. The worst thing you can say to somebody, the worst thing you can say to somebody is God will not help you. David is going through these problems because of past sins against God. That's why we all at this point need to learn how to humble ourselves and always ask God for forgiveness. And let me tell you something, Cyber Sanctuary, he is faithful and just to forgive you and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. God's grace still saves. As a matter of fact, God's grace saved me. God's grace still saves, and God will save us from COVID-19 if we diligently seek him. I don't care how bad the news is. Did you hear what I just said? I don't care how bad the news is. God is still our help. He is still the God of our salvation. Notice in verses 1 and 2, David isn't informing God because God already knows. What David is doing is laying his burden on the Lord. Did you hear what I just said? What David is doing is laying his burden on the Lord. Here's what we have to do to conquer Corona. We have to lay the burden of COVID-19 down on the Lord. To sleep peacefully in this pandemic, you need the Lord's help. And you need to lay the burden on the Lord. Which leads me to the second point flowing from this passage. We have nothing to count on but God's strength. We have nothing to count on but God's strength. Notice when you get to verse 3, notice this about David. David isn't easily beaten because he knows God is the source of his glory. Look what David says in verse 3. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. What I respect about David is he's not ignoring his problems. Let me tell you something, Cyber Sanctuary, we can't fix it if we won't face it. I'm going to say that one more time. We can't fix it if we won't face it. We have to face and accept this grim reality. Watch what I'm throwing at you. We have to face and accept this grim reality that there is no country in the world that can be held up as a model for both its economic and public response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We truly have nothing to count on in this season but God's strength. Notice David lifts up his eyes from the threatening situation around him and looks by faith to the Lord. All David can do in this text is look up by faith to the Lord. You want to know something? It's dangerous for us. As a people, we've had to deal with COVID-19, and as a people, the pandemic has exposed the bitter terms of our racial contract, which deems certain lives are of greater value than others. It is said COVID-19 was an emergency until it was found out who was dying. We see the racial contract played out in Georgia, too, in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. The law says murder is illegal. The racial contract says it's fine for white people to chase and murder black people if they have decided that those black people scare them. We not only deal with the racial contract, but we also deal with not being able to settle conflicts among ourselves absent of violence. Locally, in the city of Little Rock, there have already been 19 murders. These are dangerous times. But when I look by faith, I'm like David and I see God as my shield. And this season of COVID-19 and this season of the racial contract being played out, watch this, in front of our eyes. And in this season of violence in Little Rock, all we can depend on is the Lord being our shield. All we can depend on is the Lord being our protector. Cyber Sanctuary, you better depend on God as your shield. Depend on the Lord, because when this is over, God will lift our heads and restore us to where we need to be. So to God be the glory. And let everything that has breath go ahead and praise the Lord. Give him glory one more time. Watch this. Because you're not easily beaten. David may have been forced off his throne, but God will not forsake him. You don't believe me? Look at verse 4. Look what David said. David said, I cried to the Lord with my voice, and he heard me from his holy hill. The word cry is transliterated as kara, and the root of that word carries the idea of a meeting or encounter. So basically, David is telling us, I had an encounter with God. I called on him for help. I invited God, watch this, to an appointment, and guess what? And he showed up and saved me out of my troubles. Cyber Sanctuary, you better learn how to invite God in your distress. You better learn how to invite God right now in your situation. And I stop by to tell you, he will answer. Invite God now and you will sleep peacefully in COVID-19. I declare and decree, no more fragmented sleep. I declare and decree, no more insomnia. I declare and decree, no more nightmares about COVID-19. I declare and decree, you will have a good night's sleep. I declare and decree you will have a safe night. I decree and declare, for his anger is but for a moment. His favor is for life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Which leads us to the last point of our message. We have to awake in the morning, trusting that God will rest, restore, and rescue us. The morning is the most important time of the day. That's why David says in verse 5. Look what David says. I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I want to disciple sanctuary. Was the Lord the first on your mind when you woke up this morning? By the mere fact you woke up this morning, that testifies to the fact that the Lord is with you and will see you through the crisis. Lord, I want to celebrate you if I got to celebrate you by myself. I want to celebrate you in advance because I know you will see us through this crisis. Stop by here to tell you to trust him and seek to do his will in COVID-19. And if you trust him and you seek to do his will in COVID-19, what happens is he will keep working on your behalf even while you're sleeping. David says, you don't believe it, but David says, I lay down and sleep. Sleep is transliterated as Yashon. This type of sleep David refers to is the one that you remain in a long time. It's a type of sleep where you can be stored up and get your energy back. Basically, David is saying, in verse 5, David is saying, I got a good night's rest. And since I got a good night's sleep, since I got a good night's rest, I can now celebrate and anticipate the victory. It's amazing what a good night's sleep will do. God rested David. Did you hear what I just said, Cyber Sanctuary? God rested David. Psalm 3 and 5, you know it. It inspired your bedtime prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord, watch this, my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord, my soul to take. You want to know why you can rest and why you're going to thank God for a good night's sleep. You're going to rest and be thankful because God watches over all of us. He watches over us. He watches over all of us, sleep and awake, and meets our needs. Notice the text begins by stating a problem. But then, my brothers and sisters, it's followed by a hopeful resolution. It's followed by a hopeful resolution. Look at David's resolution in verse 6 through 7. David says, I will not be afraid. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God, for you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the ungodly. I want you to know God rested David. And then God restored David. And what he did for David. Stop out here to tell you, he's able to do it even in COVID-19. God is going to rescue you. He's going to restore you. And he's going to rescue you too. Which leads me to say this. The morning. Just type morning in the comments. The morning is the best time to celebrate our God who gives us the victory. I'll say it one more time. The morning is the best time to celebrate our God who gives us the victory. The question has been raised. Has God's glory left since we can't meet in church like we used to? We must realize when we look at the background and the context of this text, we must realize David had to send the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem. Let me say it like this. David has no access to the tabernacle. David has no access to the ministry of the priest. Cyber Sanctuary, you too have no access to the church of God. We can't meet in the church of God. But is there anybody spiritual enough to know that although we can't meet in the church of God, we have the God of the church? Did you hear what I just said? We have the God of the church still leading us where we need to go and taking us where we need to be. Will you give God glory for still being God, the God of the church? You can't be in church today, but you can be like David and still lift up your hands in your own house. Sometimes you got to make your house your sanctuary. You can still give God glory. You can still be like David and lift up your hands to worship God. I stop by here to tell you the glory of the Lord is with you. And so is the blessing of God. Notice the enemies rise up in verse 1. But by the morning, God raised up, giving David the victory. That's why David says in verse 8, salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing is upon your people. COVID-19 will eventually be defeated because God will break its stronghold on us. I'm sure of this, like David, because God has given me past victories. You can't make me now because I know too much about it. I want you to know He saved my life many times in the past. So why would He abandon me now? The question I want to raise is, do you have the faith to trust God to go before you and conquer Corona? David's enemies will eventually, I got to get out of here, David's enemies will eventually be humiliated. See, I'm almost ready, and in due season, as we trust the Lord to rest us, restore us, and rescue us from COVID-19, we will have what we need. Yes, I'm confident in this. Watch this. We will have what we need to rebuild and achieve greater after this pandemic. Will you thank God for this Sunday morning? Thank God right now for a safe night. Thank God right now for the morning. It's definitely in the morning where you can meet the Lord and worship Him. Did you hear what I said? It's definitely in the morning that you can meet with the Lord and worship Him. I thank God for the morning because it's my time to pray. You see, all night I tossed and I turned. I must say it one more time. All night I tossed and turned. With COVID-19 on my mind. And when anxiety and stress bed with you at night, and you're dreaming of nightmares, and you're dreaming of COVID-19. You got to learn, like David, to let the Lord guide your feet. Scripture said, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. I stand before you because I feel a little rested now. Did you hear what I said? I stand right now because I feel a little rested now. I feel restored now. I feel rescued now. Do I have a witness in here? And now I have the confidence to say that we will conquer Corona. I will say it one more time. I have the confidence to say that we will conquer Corona. Do I have a witness in here? The reason why we will conquer Corona is because on the hill called Calvary, Christ died on an old rugged cross. He looked mighty sick when they arrested him. He looked mighty sick when they marched him to judgment hall. He looked real sick when they whipped him all night long. He looked mighty sick, y'all, when they marched him down the dusty streets of Jerusalem. He looked mighty sick, y'all, when they hung him high and they stretched him wide. He looked mighty sick, y'all, when they put a crown of thorns on his head. He looked mighty sick, y'all, yes, when he hung on the old rugged cross. But he had to have power, because I heard him say, it is he looked mighty sick when they pierced him in the side. He looked mighty sick, y'all, when they put him in a hospital. But he had he had to have power, because you know what happened early Sunday morning. Now that's all I want to tell you. Early in the morning is where you get your power. Early Sunday morning, he got up. I feel like preaching. He got up with all power wrapped in his hand. I stopped by here to tell you this morning, your deliverance, it was in the morning. Did you hear what I said? Your deliverance is in the morning. Now we'll be glory after this. Will you give my glory? Because you made it safely through. Will you give me glory? Because you made it safely through the night. If you're satisfied with his mercy, give him glory right now. Give him praise right now. If you're up with the activities of your hand, you have experienced salvation. If you're up this morning, you've been saved another day from Corona. If you're up this morning, give God glory, give him praise, give him glory, because he's your source for conquering the world. He's your source for conquering the world. So to God be the glory. And let everything that has breath go ahead and praise his name. The doors of the cyber sanctuary are open. As I praise and bless you with a song of invitation. This is the most important part of the service. You have just heard the gospel preached. Now, cyber sanctuary, if you're not saved, you want to join this church, now is your time to respond. On the screen it tells you how you can unite with this church. Give me your hand, but give Jesus Christ your heart. The road to salvation is going to appear on the screen. The road to salvation is easy as ABC. You learned it in kindergarten. A, admit to God that you have sinned and disobeyed him. Romans 3:23. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. We believe that Jesus died on the cross and rose again. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Sing, confess that Jesus can forgive you of your sins. Romans 10:13. Whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. You have a lot to be thankful for. Every day you wake up, you have survived Corona. Every day you wake up, the Bible says you're more than a conqueror. And I'm so glad right now that we serve a God who can preserve us and sustain us, even when the rest of the world is going crazy. But you got to make a commitment and you got to have a relationship with him. And listen, I would love to be your cycle pastor. I would love for TrueVine to be your church home. But you're going to have to make that step. You're going to have to make that commitment to be in this family. I speak blessings upon your life. You may have a prayer request. Will you just come? Walk down that cyber aisle. Flood Facebook and YouTube with your comments. If you're standing in the need right now, come right now. While the blood is running warm in your veins. I dare not leave this service without Jesus. It's like driving a car without insurance. You're simply not covered. You have an opportunity to get covered. Don't delay. All you got to do is have faith the size of a mustard seed, and you can move mountains. I'm Michael Flowers, pastor, teacher, TrueVineChurch. I would that you like, follow, share on Facebook, Little Rock TrueVine, Also, everyone, including members and non-members, go to YouTube, Little Rock TrueVineChurch, and subscribe. Because it is our belief that listening to our virtual experiences online is going to change your life. I want you to be blessed by this word. And I know and I believe, God, that this word will not return void. Listen, if you did not have an opportunity to give, you can give at this time. It's real simple mobile online. It's real simple mobile giving. Cash App $TrueVineChurch. My time is done. Now my praise team will come in transition. Close out this service. But we're closing this service. But never out of God's presence. Listen, we are praying for increase. I want everyone that's listening, invite about 5 more people to virtual service. Our service is on Sunday 9 a.m., Tuesday 6 p.m. for Bible. Invite 5 people. Increase. Now we have some reminders. Don't forget the word preached from the pulpit today and apply what you received daily by asking yourself, what did God say to me through this message? Number 2, how does my life measure up to His word? Number 3, what action will I take to bring my life in line with His word? And what truth? Number 4, what truth do I need to study from? Now I pray the king will conclude this service with a song. Now for our benediction. Now unto Him that is able to keep you from falling, and to present you faultless before the presence of His glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God our Savior be glory, majesty, and majesty, dominion and power, both now and ever. Amen. Be blessed.
Thank you for joining us today. We're glad that you're here, and we're glad that you enjoyed this service today. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and tell everybody about the work that TrueVine is doing in Little Rock. How great! Oh yeah! How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, sing how great is our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, sing how great is our God. Name above all names, His name above all names. Worthy of all praise. And now, sing how great is our